Hello, beautiful soul. If this message found you, it is not random. It is an activation. So I set out the intention that this would find exactly who it's supposed to, because as you can see and are probably experiencing and witnessing, that the old world is shedding. The systems and structures and foundations are cracking. Surfaces are resurfacing that were once hidden, and foundations that once were solid are slowly dissolving. And this is not by accident. This is perfectly aligned with divine time. So you may be experiencing deeply disturbing truths and at the same time feeling a sense of deep calm. And that is because your higher heart chakra is coming on. And the higher heart chakra is actually what I wanted to come on and talk about today. So this isn't going to be a reading. It is going to just be a share on what I was getting guided to put out here. Okay, so we don't really talk about the higher heart chakra very often. We talk about the 7 major chakras, and the heart chakra is here in the middle of your chest. The throat is here. This governs our ability to love and receive love, and this is our ability to express and truth. And so right now, with everything being exposed and truths coming out online and how that is impacting the collective consciousness, this is directly impacting our higher heart chakra, which is sometimes called the Thymus chakra. It's related to the thymus gland, and it sits in between the 2 chakras. And the green is symbolic of the heart chakra, also known as anahata, which means unstruck. And this chakra kind of forms in our 20s, and that's when we usually tend to experience our first romantic love. And it's often when we have our first heartbreak, which is often what causes us to hold on to wounds and triggers and close our heart up. But the higher heart chakra is a little different. It's more connected to Christ consciousness, divine compassion without martyrdom, unconditional love without with limits, neutrality without apathy. It's kind of finding that duality between certain elements, like forgiveness without enabling. Once again, that comes into boundaries, unity, consciousness, collective healing, immune strength, which is also what connects us to the thymus gland. And it's the chakra that is associated with Christ consciousness, new earth consciousness, quantum compassion, and discernment without rage. Because right now this is so important, because everything that's coming out, everything that's being exposed with all the horrific injustices in the world, wars, conflicts, and the Epstein files, like, what a time to be alive. If you are here, it's because you were meant to be here. You have a divine purpose in this divine shedding. So the higher heart chakra is not a naive love. It connects us from this unconditional, forgiving, benevolent love into our higher wisdom, connecting us to higher intelligence. So it is powerful yet discerning. And that's what you are being called to activate and to align with at this time, because we are in the final shedding of the snake. If you see this when I'm putting it out, I mean, this will resonate with whatever, but at the time when I'm posting this, there is so much of the illusion and facades falling apart and coming online, and it's really disruptive to a lot of people. I actually knew about a lot of these things beforehand, so not to say that I'm not like horrified by it, because it's horrified, but it's also not as jarring to some of us who have already really faced these truths. But just know that at this time, when all of these things are coming online, it's a very important time to realize that the snake sheds its skin. Sorry, I don't know why I'm having trouble speaking. The skin shakes its head. The snake sheds its skin, but it doesn't attack the old skin. It just simply outgrows it. That was very hard to say. And so that's what you are also being asked to do in this time. With all these things coming online, and it's also a time when we're being called and asked upon ourselves from our soul to really reflect on how we're navigating this material world, and is it aligned with our purpose? Is it fulfilling us? Do we feel satisfied? Do we feel happy? Most important. And as we are going through this collective shedding, lots of information is surfacing, corruption is being exposed, and structures are dissolving. And it's a good thing. As painful or destructive as it may seem, it's a good thing. And it may cause a little panic and discord, but it's not supposed to create panic. It's supposed to reveal what was hidden. Because once we shine a light on the darkness, it is visible, and that is how you can transmute it. So that is also what's being called of us. So rather than fueling outrage, yes, some of these things are outrageous, they are horrific, they're horrible, and I'm smiling right now, but it's not because I think it's funny, it's just, I just smile. But just know that it is the collapse of the secrecy. It is the great revealing, the exposure of the shadows, and the dissolving of these control structures that were designed to keep us stuck, to keep us disempowered, to keep us in toxic cycles. And so the revealing of these things that were never aligned is actually creating, it's like a tower moment, right? Basically for the collective consciousness. We're all just gonna fall out of it because it was an unstructured, unstable structure. Wow, I'm really having a hard time forming my words. But when we activate and we tune into the higher heart space, this is where we don't spiral into rage, or blame, or division, or revenge, or spiritual superiority even. I had a friend who actually posted something, and it's like, we can't just blame the demons for society and society and its toxicity, because we're all also contributing to it, whether consciously or not. Like, we've been kind of put into these systems that were designed to be destructive and unsustainable. And so, what a time to be alive. This is the time when things are going to be visible, and we're going to be able to change the way the structures are made. This is actually such a beautiful thing. This is the creation, the pioneering of the new earth. We need the old toxic structures to collapse. And so with all of this truth, it's really easy to be angry and to feel hate and disdain, but the higher heart chakra asks us to embody the clarity without violence, with ahimsa, and accountability without dehumanizing anybody, disrespecting anybody. It's when we tune into our higher selves and we speak from our higher selves. And so how this correlates to everything that's going on right now, especially with the shedding of the snake and the Epstein styles, we're moving collectively from survival consciousness into sovereign consciousness, from trauma loops, toxic cycles, into integration. We are healing ancestral trauma. Moving from blind trust in governments and corporations and people into discernment, into boundaries, and so from polarization also into higher synthesis. So we are in a time of not healing but integrating these changes. And the lower heart, the one that we're most commonly connected to or conscious of, is where when something goes wrong, we feel betrayed, we feel anger or shock, and our heart breaks. And the higher heart chakra asks us to metabolize without becoming what it is that we condemn. So not letting the things that hurt you turn you into somebody that hurts other people, or blaming that other person, realizing that we are all responsible in some way, shape, or form for allowing these things to happen. How do we hold people or establishments accountable without losing our own humanity, without saying we should unalive people or whatever. I've seen lots of stuff out there from people that are, friends with me, and they're very spiritual, or they claim to be, and I understand the rage, but this is very important as a collective consciousness that we do embody this Christ consciousness, right? And without that blame, and just not to participate. That is their strength right now, is like we can vote with our wallets, we can take our attention away, our power away. And how do we protect the children, most importantly, truth and innocence without creating more trauma? And so in order to activate and to strengthen our higher hearts, let's just do a few exercises right now. So I don't know if you've ever done tapping, but tapping is amazing. It helps stimulate certain pressure points in your body, and you can basically reprogram and deprogram fears. So with thymus tapping, we'll take the same 2 fingers. We're gonna tap our thymus, which is actually one of the points when you do tapping. It is your higher heart chakra. Ooh. Okay, and so just say whatever feels, or whatever comes to mind or feels natural. I choose compassionate truth. I choose compassionate truth. I choose sovereign love. I choose sovereign love. I choose clarity without hatred. I choose clarity without hatred. And so it is. Aho. Beautiful. And you can do that, or say any affirmations that feel aligned with you in this certain situation. And you can do, you can refuse constant shock or outrage cycles. So rather than doom scrolling or, going down the rabbit hole and reading all the Epstein files, or, just focusing on all the trauma that makes you feel so vulnerable and hopeless, being really conscious of the media that you intake. And I'm not saying bypass and pretend that these things don't happen, okay? I am not saying that at all, but just be conscious of your own nervous system and your mental health when it happens. Make sure that you prioritize nervous system regulation. If you're intaking stuff about a lot of corruption, make sure you balance it out with a lot of love. And also just turning information into action. So rather than just consuming it, how are you transmuting it? What are you gonna do? Like, are you signing petitions? Are you getting people together? Like, what are you doing to take action to create the change and be the change that you want to see in the world? That is higher heart chakra activation. And to add to that, let's just look at service. The higher heart chakra activates when we protect ourselves with our boundaries, with our voice, but also protect those who don't have a voice, protect the vulnerable. How do we educate people calmly, being respectful in our delivery without judging them? How do we offer solutions, and how do we implement them? How do we model integrity? This is higher heart chakra activating. It's not when we go in rage and anger fits and pick fights with people or just over some disagreement. It's helping other people in their ascension by embodying the energy of heart healing. And so we're not here to wake people up aggressively. If you are here and you're watching this, thank you for being with me. This is for the people who are doing the work, who are pioneers in this new earth consciousness, and who are really embodying this, doing the shadow work and integrating. It is up to you, up to me, to be that regulated being when other people are spiraling, to be grounded in their panic, and to offer clarity without ego, being discerning, but also without judging anybody, because none of us are better than anybody else. We're all just at a different point in our journey and on our own healing. So how can you hold space for them without collapsing? And so the higher heart is contagious. Our heart has an electromagnetic frequency that is extremely powerful and can be regulating. So when you're activated in your higher heart, other people's nervous systems will actually just naturally start to regulate around you. It's like the Maharishi effect, right? And you put out that energy of meditation. It's the same thing with your heart frequency. It is very, very powerful. So when you embody this, people are going to be calmer around you. They're going to elevate in what they're thinking about and sharing. You know, people aren't going to be talking about people. You're going to be talking about ideas. You're going to be talking about evolution. You're going to be talking about contributions together. So it's really beautiful. And the division just naturally softens because we are all human. And it's that recognition of a soul on soul level. And this is how we stabilize new earth consciousness into the here and now. It's not through fighting. It is through coherence. So on that note, I'm going to be finishing this up, but I just want to call you to place your hand on your heart and take a nice deep breath. Beautiful. Just feel how grounded you already feel by tuning in and breathing. And just say internally, I am the bridge between truth and love. I anchor higher consciousness here and now. I metabolize shadow into wisdom, and I shed what no longer serves me and humanity. I choose evolution, I choose love, I choose new earth, and so it is. Aho. Beautiful. So I hope that resonated. If it did, please let me know. Please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay awesome. Sending love.